Hey, what's going on, everyone? Here is tonight's live stream, and I am going to work on testing some Federation bugs, see what kind of crew works. Hey, Hugo. Hey, Fandom. Hey, Justin. So, let's get all this miner stuff out of the way. I was so lazy today, I didn't even do my Romulan mining faction dailies. I was I was dragging my feet because we just got done. We had a player that was a little upset with our alliance and was doing nonstop DKs on our miners, and I managed to resolve that situation. But I've been like so burnt out from from minor DKs and doing this mining event. This mining event is just driving me crazy. It's just it's I don't know. I hate to do any kind of complaining because I like to keep the channel fun and everything, but there's just no engagement piece. It's just you park your miner out and you let it do its thing, and that's all the event is. So definitely work on those PVE dailies here today. So what do we got here? We have Kirk, Spock, and McCoy. I took Hugo's advice as well as Captain Epictetus on his little or his website that he created about crew. So I did rank up Nero. Oh, and speaking of that, there is. Well, let's see. There's a crew event going on right now. Oh, it just ended. Oh man, I was gonna try to do last minute crew upgrades to see if I could do it because I'm holding on to like 4.3 million officer experience. You go. Fandom says G3 systems right now. There's a war going outside. No man is safe. That is very true. This mining events in general, just I don't know. They bring out all the crazy. So even if you have a player who has just a little bit of crazy, it just like blows up. And I'm like, I even had to talk to my own guys. I'm like, guys, it's mine. If somebody takes it, somebody snipes your node, whatever, just find another one. Because what a lot of people don't understand is when you're like, oh, that's my node. No, it's my node. And you're going back and forth. Your admiral and your commodores are the people that have to take time out of their game and resolve it and figure out what's going on. Let's see. Let me take a look because I think didn't this seem like it was two mining events in one? Like one ended and another one started right in its place. Yeah, the solo mining event for me, it reset. Like I haven't even hit the first tier yet. um, but I mean, at the same time, the incentive there just isn't there. I mean, 25,000 titanium, 5,000 dilithium for the first tier. Even the last tier, it is two chips of titanium and a chip of dilithium. But I mean, that takes like all my ships constantly non-stop mining for 3 days. Pass. Hard pass on that one. Yeah, 2 events back to back, Hugo. So wow, lots of messages there. So we just got done with a Memoriam event. Had a lot of alliances show up, and it was pretty cool. I did take a video of it. It's gonna take some time for me to edit it down because I gotta trim some audio off of that video clip. So I'm definitely gonna work on that. Yeah, Hugo, 778K left. How much did you start with? yeah, I haven't. Let's just take a look. Yeah, 4.3 million is what I have right now. And if you take a look at my screen, I have so many that are how many months? Oh God. That is a really good question. To be completely honest, I didn't keep track of it. Um, I think. Well, let me tell you this. I started playing. I believe it was the end of November, and it took me up until this point to get to level 29. I would say the majority of that time was spent from 20 to 29 because it is not that difficult to level up compared to 20 to 29 to level 20 from 0 to 20. Especially if you're like me and you're a spender. Because I spent over $2,000 on this game already. But that's my choice and it's something I wanted to do. I would definitely say probably from January till now is how long it took. And I didn't spend nearly as much as a lot of other people on my server did because I'm only about top 50, about 50 in power. So there's about 50 other more crazy spenders than I am on here. So yeah, so I have Helvia, Talon, Vel, Cadet Uhura, Cadet McCoy, Instructor Spock, Cadet Tulu, Bartuk, Kabish, Chen, Gonzalez. Wait. Yeah, Gonzalez, Koth, Scotty, Morale, Vixis, Arcady, Eric's, Javade, Bella, and Spock to upgrade. Hoping for Gala and Chev for my NPC game. I would really like to upgrade those. And I definitely want to upgrade Kamal. But those will definitely have to take a little bit more time. A lot of these are taking faction credits, so I'm not like trigger happy to upgrade them yet. And I will say the one that I really want to upgrade is my Spock, because my Spock is going to go up to that 400% tier mark for shield regeneration. But I mean, to get to that point, I have to spend let's see, 4,800 Federation faction credits, 250k officer experience, and I believe it's a science badge. Yeah, science badge. If you got it, go ahead. But for me, I'm just level 22 and spend like 200. It's been a lot of grinding. Yeah, and it's definitely going to be a lot of grinding, Justin. I mean, don't get me wrong. Even pay to play players do a ton of grinding. They have to. But what a lot of them are finding out is you can do a lot of the grind and save yourself some money, especially when it comes to faction ships. Yeah, fandom. That sounds about right. Eighth or ninth week. Fandom says I'm on my 8th or ninth week in the game. I'm level 20 and have spent less than £20 so far, but I play a lot. Yeah. So the grind for this game, it's definitely going to be there. I've been grinding level 30 Federation interceptors to try to squeeze a Saladin blueprint out of there to save me some faction credits. And I opened up about 150, and in my last 50, I got a Bortus blueprint. So I was like, oh, come on. Seriously, it like literally will not drop. And Hugo says, I started in the middle of January this year, and without spending much, in total 120 euros, and I'm on Ops level 26. Did you just level up really fast? Because I thought you were a little bit lower than that. All right. So we are going to test Federation crew members. So, don't have my Federation faction ship yet. Oh, good thing is that for Hugo, I know you've been sending me private messages and don't think I've been ignoring you. However, I'm getting my Saladin this week, and that is when I'm going to start testing the Klingon crew, because I haven't been able to test Klingon crew members because I can put them on a battleship. You will, Justin, trust me. I can easily put them on a battleship, but that torpedo on the Legionnaire, I think, only fires once every 3 rounds, and it's destructive. It's great, but it's just not enough to kind of gauge Klingon crew abilities. So, because I have my Centurion, which is the Explorer, it's not a true like Federation type Explorer because I mean it shields. I mean, its defense and health is so incredibly low. It definitely bites off a lot. It's definitely a glass cannon, but it is definitely going to work a little bit differently. Yeah, and so Hugo's talking about in chat that if he spends money, he's going to spend it on prime research, and you definitely will see a big difference in your ship, especially if you buy prime shields, prime hulls. You're going to see about a 20% uptake. But one thing everyone here has to realize, and I know Hugo knows this as well, because he's the one who brought it to my attention, is that when it tells you will increase 100%, it means 100% of your base stats. It does not mean that it's going to increase 100% based on whatever your research has done. So a lot of people are like, I don't see 100% increase, and that's the reason why. So just know if you're going to buy Prime of anything, it is not, you're not going to see that flat 100% increase from where you currently are. Alright, so let's do a test here. Let's see. Alright, I'm going to actually travel to another system. I am going to go over to Beta Penthe with my Centurion, because I got to kill some Klingon 33s. Beta Penthe is probably one of my more favorite systems, even if I have to kill 32s, because the Ulrich system, which is a level 31, which has a lot of 32s, but it's 32, 30, and 31s. Everyone is fighting over the 32s in there, and that's just a drama fest waiting to happen, so I just skip it altogether, and no one is ever in Beta Penthe. And then I got my first 30-day Carol box yesterday, and that was cool. I was happy to get those Carol shards. Lots of good uncommon, good rare, good speed ups, and some crew shards. I really hope that Carol is going to be available in event soon. I really hope they don't want us, or they're not going to make us wait 9 months to get her, because she is definitely one I want to test out a lot. Yeah, fandom. Here's what I'll say about that. Keenser is definitely worth it for the synergy he supplies to Carol as a captain. So fandom says, I know I should save for the month, but I have been getting the weekly boxes. So I would say definitely get Keenser. You can upgrade him if you want, but I would definitely suggest saving for Carol. Oh, and I did a lot of tearing up on my Horizon as well, because I went to go raid a base, and it was a higher rated player. It's like level 31, and my Horizon just melted into the base. It was so sad. I was like, it's the first time it ever happened to me. So I finally got my Horizon. Oh, hey, Craig. Craig is on my team. And Craig, just so everyone is aware out there, if you have questions about NPC hunting, Craig, how many have you done? I know you've done what 40,000. He, all he, it seems like all he does is hunt NPCs, and he gets so many blueprints from doing that. So he is definitely one to, Hugo. If you want to ask questions about that, I will definitely defer you over to Craig about it, because he is an expert in that field of getting blueprints from NPCs. So I'm just shooting down some explorers. I know I don't look for the D4s because they hit incredibly hard. One thing I've learned is when you're hunting faction NPCs, every faction has a ship that is going to be stronger. So it's their traditional ship. So for Klingons, their D4s, their interceptors, are going to hit incredibly hard. For Federation, it's going to be explorers, and for Klingons, I believe it's going to be their battleships. So I don't hunt. I don't hunt Klingon interceptors right now, especially with my Centurion with a thin hull and thin shields. It doesn't make a lot of sense. Oh, Craig has hunted over 146,000 NPCs. And you started along with all of us, right, in November? Oh, I see what you're saying, Craig, because I'm looking at it right now. Let me see if I can fix that. Let's see. I gotta run away from this Klingon that's trying to get me and see if I can. Oh, yeah. Hang on. Let's see. Thanks for catching that. Alright, I'm still good there. Sorry guys, I am checking something out because this is driving me crazy. Okay, perfect. I didn't see it until I enlarged it and realized my cropping was off. Thanks for pointing that out, Higo. Um, Alright. Nope, that's not what I want. Yeah, I don't know how Craig hunts as many as he does. I do my dailies and I'm like, ugh, is it over yet? Do I have to really grind anymore? But I'm grinding. I should be doing a better job at grinding Saladins right now because I'm trying to get a Saladin blueprint. But I'm being pretty bad at it. I think, I think as an alliance leader, I I don't get to play the game as much as just regular players do. That's one thing I was telling you guys before is when it comes to alliance leaders and commodores, we get pulled into so much stuff all the time, constantly, all the time, and and some people like that. Some people like having those conversations with other people, and I'm the kind of person where I want to play the game. I just want to play the game. That's all I want to do. It's like frustrating sometimes when I can't. Um, all right. I'll use Gonzalez as captain. That's interesting. Are you, Craig? Are you fighting interceptors with Tilan? Because he says that he uses. Oh man, he uses Tilan on his NPC attacks. Yeah, just so you guys are aware, I'm not here to test the NPC crew. I'm here to test the Federation faction crew. That's why I'm not hunting with the NPC crew. Thanks, Ice Wallow. Appreciate that. Yeah, Justin, Craig is a beast. I I don't know how he does it. And Craig is positive in every single faction, and by like a lot. Kevin, don't kill my ship. I'll come for you. Kevin, Kevin, are you? You must be on my server then, and I have a feeling I know who you are. And I'll leave it at that. Gonzalez, Chev, and Tilan. Explorers versus interceptors is quite tricky. Yes. So this is Hugo says this in chat. Explorers versus interceptors is quite tricky. Yes, you have the triangle benefits, but the torpedoes deal so much damage that you get so much bleed through. Can destroy much more explorers. Very true, Hugo, and that's what I found. And also, I hope you guys are aware of this trick as well. If you kamikaze against an NPC, all of your precious cargo will immediately go back to your base. You do not lose any of it. And I'm dead. So, repair that. Yeah, like if you have if you have a player who comes after you for your cargo, just hunt in a miner. That's what I would do. There is Kevin. I know. There's a certain player, and I'm assuming it's on Kevin's team, who likes to hunt ships that go OTL while you're just doing missions or whatnot. And so to irritate him even more, I'll just hunt in the horizon. And I'll make sure I don't exceed any of my protected cargo. Well, no, Phantom, you definitely want to make sure you stay under your protected cargo amount. The problem is that the warships have such a low protected levels that it's really easy to go OTL, especially when you're hunting higher level faction ships or NPCs. Let's see. I keep trying. Okay, stop that. I keep trying to get my Fed down because I don't want to hit level 34s. Um, Romulans is slow, very slowly trying to catch up. Um, but no, Craig's idea is that once you get positive so much, because I think he was like positive 3 or 4 million, you can only go negative 2 million. So what he did is he waited till he was so high, and he knew he was going to take a hit on that. Then he just started hitting the other faction, and he became positive in it. And now he's working on balancing them all out. So now, so now, I'm just reading Kevin's comment. um, so now Craig is positive on all three factions, and of course augment faction as well, which is definitely a great thing to do. I would say when you like, for instance, if you're a Federation, you got a Saladin, and you're using Klingon crew on it. It gets really difficult once you start getting towards the middle of the game, like around level 30, to level up those crew members if you can't earn those credits. So it's a huge benefit to have two factions, and definitely, at some point in the game, working towards having all three factions positive. So let's take a look at these battle reports. And all right, I got 2 hours left on my shield. Okay. So all right. So I was doing 3 rounds on each, and Kirk's activated right away. So his morale kicked in, Spock kicked in, and Bone started to kick in once the ship was hit. So he increased 15% to the defense of the bridge officers when hit, which of course Spock uses when he regenerates shields. And so that was increasing. So let me take a look. So the first hit was 16,929, 16,157, 16,497, 2678, 17,808, critical hit. So I'm just reading over this battle log, and the McCoy effect. I'm trying to work this through to figure out if the 15% increase to defensive bridge officers impacts mitigation or impacts Spock's abilities more. Yes, Fandom. So Fandom asked about the cargo going back. I believe so. I believe this was his question. He said, even if it's overprotected amount, yep, it all goes back to your base once you kamikaze on an NPC. I saw that, Sean. Congratulations on hitting that landmark. Um, how long did level 20 take you to hit? Because it seems like did not take that long. I know our junior alliance, the leader of that, he started with the influx of new players, and he's already level 26. He is just that's definitely some spending there. How much effort do I put into a Kara with the Valka so close at 22? I'm not a big fan of either. And Kevin and Craig are both from our servers. They're both upper tier players as well, so you can ask for their opinion on this. But I was never one to invest into either ship. And I'm really glad I didn't, because it's the Kumari that's really going to start your faction game. So at level 24, you can unlock the Kumari. It can do so much more damage without really needing to put that much resource into it. So I always tell the players on my team, do not worry about the Kara or the Valklis. Definitely get it, play around with it, put a little bit into it, but you're really going to want to focus on getting to level 24 and getting that Kumari. And if you do want to buy those faction ships, making sure that you get to a level 26 shipyard. Hugo, I was thinking the same thing. So Hugo says McCoy does nothing to mitigation, but it should. But it is working for Spock. So my question about McCoy is, does he become really effective at higher levels? Because I think at first it was like 5%, 10. I got mine at 15, getting close to being able to rank him up again. I get the feeling that you're going to be you'll see some mitigation at higher levels. I'm just not sure. A lot of people prefer to use Bones with Kirk and Spock. I haven't seen that much of effect, and it could very well change for me once I upgrade my Spock to the 400% mark. That could definitely be a big key to that. Yeah, Craig. Craig says my Kara was adjusted several times. I used to hunt battleships for the lithium with it a lot. Now I'm not even sure how useful it is, and it's very true. I think for those of us on our server, Fet or Data, he he had taken his like up to like 220k at some point, and I was just like, dude, really? Or some players have taken their Valkus up really high. Honestly, for me, it just comes down to the Kumari. Really helps you hitting higher level faction NPCs, so you can earn a lot more faction favor with every ship you destroy. After that, once you hit level 26, those faction ships are great. I really like them. A lot of people give the Mayflower a hard time, and I know Kevin has one, and my teammate Bundy has one. They're very high level. They're about 480 to 550k. However, they can actually do a ton of damage. My friend, when he fought a 2.1 million boss in the Separatist event with his Mayflower, which was about 480k, he came out of it full shields and about 25% hull left. And that's what that 400% Spock will do for you. It'll allow you to survive. So, Schrodinger's cat says, I have a 450k base. I need a good alliance to help me stay shielded. It's too expensive. So the problem is the only thing that's going to prevent you from being rated are shields. And you get, I believe, a 4 hour and an 8 hour everyday and dailies. That's the only thing that's going to prevent it. You, Craig, he has a high level base, but there's no way he would ever think that somebody can't break into it. At level 29, even with all my ships stocked, my defense rating is 2 million. There is no way I have the confidence that I can't be rated. And it goes for everyone on the server, that if somebody wants to get in your base bad enough, they're going to find enough people to be able to crack it and get into it. It's just the fact of the matter. And that's why I tell a lot of players, I said, I don't get too hung up on upgrading your base defenses, or anything to that effect, because eventually somebody will get into your base if it's unshielded. The only thing you can do is shield. Fact of the matter there. Yeah, so Sotak AJ says, I've seen some high level carrots take out similar level Kumaris. Just takes a lot of resources. And that's true. The carrot's definitely going to have the type advantage over the Kumari. But at the end of the day, I just don't think it's a wise investment. I'm just reading through everything right now. Alright, so Hugo, you want me to go to ship manage window? Then you click on details. Alright, let's just go over to my Centurion. Then tap on the defense numbers. You get a tooltip. So it says on my Centurion, on my defense. Well, actually, I'm looking at the wrong thing. Because actually, let me take a look at one thing here. So is this what you're referring to, Hugo? Your officers provide a defense bonus of 80%. 0 armor, 2658 shield, and 0 dodge. Interesting. So the tooltip didn't change when I swapped out McCoy and I swapped out Spock. Your officers provide the same defense bonus. So Hugo's typing. I can sense it. Let's see. Assign. Well, let me do that. Alright, so that changed it. Your officers provide a defense bonus of 50%. 1,661 shield. Let's see. So now that I've taken everyone off, it's all zeroed out. I'm curious where Hugo is going with this. I agree. So Hugo says the number should change your mitigation in combat. So it basically doesn't work. Says it does not matter if you fight with a bonus of 0. Well, that sucks. That's totally depressing. Oh my. Okay. So let me switch over here. Let me get the feds back in here. I'm just reading the chat here. So Hugo says the number should change your mitigation in combat, but it does not matter if you fight with a bonus of 0 or with 100%. Mitigation does not change at all. This devalues the entire Enterprise crew. I agree. However, how many of the Federation crew is damage mitigation? Because the moment Scopely is able to fix that issue with the defense stat, McCoy will be awesome. Agree again. Because I am taking a look at, let's see. So Uhura and Sulu, definitely offensive. Arcady, I believe he's defensive. He increases shields. and Scotty will increase the hull, which you can see on the screen. And it's a horrible increase. But what we're going to do here is we're going to take Sulu out, and we're going to take out Uhura as well. Those are usually the three best three best crew setups you can do is with Spock and Kirk. So Craig says one way to tell would be to set up a crew on a ship with Instructor Spock on the bridge and test combat results with and without him. And Tane Waka says, yes, and regardless if I have Spock activated or not, the hull damage is the same to my Mayflower. And Hugo says Spock saves the entire Enterprise crew and the value of the defense rating. It's very true. So what we're seeing here is, there are definitely some issues with the Enterprise crew. I can definitely test cadets on a later stream here. I definitely want to focus on these because one of the big questions that comes up a lot with players is, I don't have Kirk. What setup should I use? And a lot of people they'll go and put Arcady as captain. They'll be like, well, his captain ability is when the shield is depleted, Arcady has a 50% chance of inspiring morale to the ship for 3 rounds. That'll ignite Spock's. It's not true. Because, so as you know, Spock will regenerate the shields when there is morale. However, with this captain ability, the shields are all gone by the time Arcady has a chance of inspiring morale. So there's nothing left for Spock to do. The other one is probably your best option, is Sulu as a captain. Is when the ship is getting hit by a critical hit, Sulu has a 40% chance of inspiring morale to the ship for 1 round. So you can get Spock to regenerate shields that way, off Sulu as captain. It's going to be incredibly hard to trigger. You're definitely going to want to raise that by putting in crew that will synergize well with Sulu. However, if you do not have a Kirk, that is probably one of the only ways you will get Spock to regenerate the shields. Alright, and Sulu was always my go-to for so long because as an officer, Hugo says, Sulu is worthless as a captain. 1 round is not enough. It's not at all. But his ability is when the ship has morale, Sulu increases the total damage made by energy weapons by 30%. And when you put him on an Explorer that has nothing but energy weapons, it's a really decent matchup. So we are going to go back over to Bedapente. Let's see. So last time we killed 6. We killed 8 ships. Let's see what we can do this time. Sean asks, do you know much about the update on the 11th? Besides what was put on those amazing big screen TVs. So I definitely was going to touch on them and remind everyone about that update that's coming out on Tuesday, we haven't really received too many updates because the most recent announcement says that the interfaces are going to look different. Um, it talked a lot about the appearance of the game itself is changing, and I was kind of waiting for something more because I like I like strategy and I like being able to do different things in different games. And when that came out, I was like, whatever. But Fortis definitely talked about that in his stream, and so I definitely want to touch on that once we finish up with these NPCs. Tane, what level is your Spock? Does he have 400% ability to regenerate shields? That's the Spock you need, and you will see a very big difference. I believe it's his 4th tier. So Tane did say, not sure if anyone else has noticed, but regardless of whether I have Spock on the bridge or not, the hull damage in the same is the same activated or not. I feel the shield mitigation mechanics aren't right. So I will tell you, based on what I've seen, I have seen a huge noticeable difference with Spock when he has a 400% increase versus the previous tier, which has a 100% increase. The mere fact that a ship can survive an attack by a 2.3 million ship, that's pretty impressive. Oh. See, that was like right on top of me too. Oh. Man, no 33s over here. I might need to jump over to another system. So, is it just me, or does everyone wish there's a way to shorten these nasty long warp times? I feel like it should not. I feel like you should not have to put your game down for 20 minutes waiting to get to a destination. Oh, that's not going to be good. Those are battleships. Well, what the heck. Let's go over to the system where everyone's going to fight over everything. Yeah, that 400% Spock is pretty impressive. I do have to say. It's been the rumor. I agree, Nathan. So Nathan says warp times should decrease as warp range increases. So the I get having a warp time. I think that's really important to have, because it's just realistic. Like in order to get somewhere, you need to have that time for the distance. However, for those of you who don't know yet, but getting to a warp 40 system when you're like in a lower level Klingon sector or whatnot, or you're over in Klingon and you're trying to get to the gas nodes in the Warp 40 system, it's 20 minutes. It's really, really ridiculous. And so that is something I definitely hope they are working on. And I've heard rumors that they are working on it. So time will tell. JB. JB says not being able to instantly warp does help when you are getting your toes handed to you and your base getting beat to death by inexperienced miners. And fandom, that is one of the rumors that they're working on that as well, is finding a way to cancel or stop or recall or do something. So time will tell and see how that kind of materializes, but I do hope that does come along. Sean, you said the NPC regen is ridiculous at times. Are you talking about trying to fight bosses? All right, so Hugo, while everyone's in the room, you've worked on a lot of the numbers. What crew are best for damage mitigation? Because it seems like a lot of none are. I just got a warning about that. I don't know what's going on there. Nathan. Nathan says his favorite thing to do in the game is to send a ship into enemy territory. Forget about it because it takes forever to get there and come back to a nice repair bill. I definitely agree with you on that. I think that is a super fun mechanic. And somebody's coming to get me. Oh, there he is. How bad is he? Not too bad. Let's see. Sean, welcome to my life. So Sean says, no specific levels. Say your sweet spot is 20s. Go to a system, can't find 20s. Even hitting above and below you makes dailies a struggle at times. This is the struggle for all of us. Like right now, I have to hit level 32s for Romulans and level 33s for Federation. I'm hitting level 32s right now to clear up some, just because I'm not sure if I'll be able to finish those 33s today. But it happens to all of us, and this is one of the reasons I have been sticking at level 29. Is when it comes to alliance events, this your level plays so much into this that I refuse to level up until my Saladin gets to a very decent level, because I'm going to have to take on really hard ships and events, and the repair bills are going to be ridiculously high. So I'm just going to hang out at level 29 for a bit. So Hugo says the best crew to mitigate damage is Cadet Uhura as a captain, plus Chen when fighting explorers, and then you can add Cadet Kirk. Oh, Tane Waka asked me a sore subject. Oh my god, it's Hugo and I worked on this, I believe, and it works. Suffice to say, it works. It is not what you would think it would be. Hugo, you talked a lot about this with me about the bonus, the level 26 faction ship bonus against the other faction. And I believe you said that it was there, and I keep forgetting what that 30% is based off, because my legionary right now does 88%. So the legionary's weapons is increased by 88% against Federation ships. But it's not like my attacks do twice as much damage. JB. JB says, I'm expected to see Scopely charge a shield radiation cleanup fee. I'm starting to grow tumors from living in a shield. Alright, what the heck? Let's go over and look for some miners in Carre? Let's see. My ship's almost destroyed anyway. I don't know what's going on there. Let's try this again. Yeah, Hugo says the bonus of Mayflower and Legionary faction ship damage is lower than you think because you forget all the research you have already done at this point. And so this is what I'm going to say about that. I'm trying to find a great way to phrase this before I get rated over the coals. Is if you're going to state that a ship has a 30% bonus, make it a flat 30% bonus. I found it interesting where it increased after I leveled up my ship that it was an 88% bonus, and then when I looked at it I was like, huh, not really 88% of what I'm currently doing. It's if I had done no research, so base stats once again. But that just goes to show everyone that's watching this stream is anytime you see anything for 100% increase, 100%, 100%, 20%, 50% increase. Oh, that was weird. That means it's based on base stats. It does not mean it will do that increase from where you currently are. Sean, it doesn't multiply as you progress, but honestly, the prime shields and prime hulls were probably some of the best primes I got. Probably gonna blow up on this miner, but oh well. Oh. Oh, not bad. So if you guys take a look at this miner, a level 33 miner, I get 364 Federation points for. And let's take a look at the level 32 battleship. I get only 142 points for it. So you definitely, if you can target the miners, it'll definitely give you a lot more favor than traditional warships. Alright, so let's take a look at some of these battle logs. Alright, so first round. First round, Kirk inspired morale. So Sulu had a 30% increase to the energy weapons. Did it in round 2. Oh yeah. That's... Sulu's doing crazy damage with morale. So in this battle log, morale was triggered first round. My Centurion is doing 62,000 damage with each phaser. Morale, round 2, still activated. He's still doing 62,000 damage. Round 3, the morale drops, and the phaser fire goes down to 48,000. So, this is one of the reasons I love Sulu, and I know Hugo does not like Sulu, but I love him. I mean, if you have a ship with energy weapons and you have a good Kirk that can, get that morale going. Yeah, it is. I agree, Hugo. And Hugo brings up a really good point. Battle logs can be so incredibly difficult to get a good sample. It's really hard to see a good sample. And this one is really good because the morale wore off in round 3, and you can see the noticeable difference. And this is kind of what I was expecting with the question that Tane Waka had about the faction ship having the additional attack, is it's nowhere near this much of a difference. Craig. Craig says Romulans use phasers, question mark, and that's actually a really good geek thing to say, because Romulans use disruptors. And actually, if you want to get really geeky with me, Craig, disruptors are weaker than phasers. I like Sulu. I just see too many people handle him wrong. Very true. So Hugo says, I like Sulu, smiley face. I just see too many people handle him wrong, which is very true. And a lot of people, they'll have the very first tier of the crew, and they're like, oh my god, this doesn't work. Admiral Jansen is a stupid idiot. He doesn't know what he's talking about. And then, they'll go off on their rant. But here's what I have to say to that, is if you have the first tier of the crew and it's not working, tear them up. That's what it's going to take. They're going to get better as they go along. It's nowhere near perfect. Not at all. But as you get more into the game and you get those crew shards going, and you have your faction that you're building, and you grow your specific crew members, you're definitely going to start to see more of a difference. Let's see, did we Just trying to read why those phasers drop so low. So let's take a look at another battle log. Let's see what happened here. Alright, once again, Kirk starts off with morale. Kevin. Kirk starts off with morale. Sulu's doing 62 damage, 62k damage with the disruptors. Round 2. Oh, I got a critical hit with a phaser. 100k damage. Woof. 60k damage on the second phaser. Disruptor. And wow, that morale went on for 3 rounds. It's pretty sweet. Hugo says, what you can do, take your ship, throw everyone out, and fight once with a 0% damage. 0% bonus damage. Put in the worst officers you can find. The Romulans have plasma-based disruptors. Very true. But this is a really good point, because a lot of people are like, oh my god, I can't keep doing these NPCs. And I'll be like, well, which crew are you using? Well, it doesn't really matter. I'm like, well, yes, it does. Which crew are you using? Well, I'm using Kirk, Spock, and Sulu. Because you said in your own video that they're super good. And I'm like, well, you probably missed a couple of videos, because I never said to use them against NPCs. Those crew are definitely good against other players. But if you really want to have more bang for your buck, you will, like Craig said, like Hugo said, stick to the Chen crew setups. And there's a lot of different variations you can do with Chen, but that crew setup is definitely gauged to last longer against NPCs. Let's take a look at another one, because he's proccing morale like, oh my god, this one is morale all over the place. Which is a good problem to have. But I want to see nothing. Oh my god, morale all 3 rounds. Oh jeez. Morale all 3 rounds. That's crazy. Let's take a look at these last 2. Morale. Nope, not all morale. Wow, that one battle log is like the only one. Of course, my Kirk is almost at his 3rd tier as well, which is like, instead of 100, it's 200 shards. It's a little crazy. So out of all those battles, I only had 1 round where Kirk didn't proc morale, which is pretty cool. So that just kind of shows you guys why I like Sulu, especially on an Explorer, and only on an Explorer. I like him a lot. But there are a lot of people that like Uhura, and they like her a lot. She definitely, as you can see, Sulu here will only do a 10% increase to the captain ability, while Uhura does a 20% increase. And her officer ability, oh, where did she go? She went somewhere. Let's go back here. Her officer ability increases the accuracy of the ship she's in by 50%. Sean. So she can increase the accuracy, and if we take a look against a hostile level 29, your armor, pierce, shield piercing, and accuracy will result in the mitigation of 61.5% damage for the hostile. Let's take a look, Hugo. %60 in the second round, or in the second tier. So 50, 60, and I'm not sure about the third. Alright, so let's see if there's... Let's go back to Karaya. I don't want to do that right now. Alright, so we're headed back here. One thing we were talking about in my alliance today is we kind of want to do a war game because things heated up, and we're definitely a no war alliance. We like to mind the game, play our missions, be friendly with people, and that's pretty much it. But things got heated, and things were escalating, and I kind of felt like that maybe our skills are getting a little dusty. So we came up with this idea to find another alliance or several different alliances, whoever wants to participate in a war game. And what we're going to do is we're going to take our 2 starships, including like our Jellies, our Turas, our Talas, so our newer players can play as well and join in and just blow everyone up and see who wins and gets bragging rights. I think that'll be fun. It'll also help a lot of people who just need to blow stuff up. I just love, Hugo, that you know all of this like the back of your hand. Hugo's throwing out some numbers in chat right now, and it's crazy how much work he's done on the analytics behind this game. So I am currently working on that contest I was talking about probably a couple of weeks ago. I figured that I would throw out a $25 gift card to my subscribers. Anyone, and I believe it's going to be based on likes, shares, and of course people that subscribe. So if you've already subscribed to my channel, that's already like 1 point for you. So every time you share a video or every time somebody likes a video, they will get basically an entry into this contest. And I have to figure out more of that, but I think I'm going to start with $25 to see how it goes. It's going to be a trial run. I have no idea what to expect. As you guys have seen with my streams, I just kind of wing it and say, okay, let's go with it. It's a nice thing about it being my channel and I'm the one responsible for everything on here. So I'm definitely going to be doing that more than likely in the next couple of weeks. One thing I definitely want to do is get a hold of Sinky. He's probably sleeping right now, otherwise he would have joined in, and talk to him about some of the analytic reporting on the YouTube dashboard to get that done. Let's see. Of these ones. There we go. Hugo, I need your help for a moment. Should the ship be causing the same amount of damage to a 32 versus a 33? And I mean raw damage, not mitigation. Awesome, JB. I appreciate that. Because what I'm thinking of is when it was doing 65k damage, this one's a little bit lower. I might have to hit 30. Actually, that's what I'll do. I'm going to go hit 32s and just compare it to Sekhorse. Just so I can compare it to Sulu. So I'm not talking about the mitigation, the shield damage, or the hull damage. I'm talking about the initial phaser fire damage that we were taking a look at with Sulu. He was doing about 67,000 when his ability was proccing. And when I take a look at Uhura's, she is only doing about 55,000 or so, but she's fighting a level 33 ship, and he was fighting a level 32 ship. So Sean asked the question, at what point does station building get difficult to keep pace with level? I've seen some of the other YouTube channels of a higher level player, but res warehouses are 3 or 4 levels below that level. So it really depends. Let me answer that in two parts. For the player itself, really depends on how they level up. A lot of players, they they take a look at what's needed for their next ops, and that's how they upgrade. And that's why a lot of their other buildings are not up to par. Some other players want to level everything up. I would say, to answer your question, how difficult does it get to level up buildings for your level? It definitely takes some time if you take a look at a couple of things. So as you guys have probably noticed, yes, the blue Uhura, Hugo. As you guys have probably noticed by now, I'm rolling in more resources than I was previously. I was actually at a lot more than this, but my hangar took about 20 million par. And I'm going on easy street right now because I'm rolling in some resources. And I have a ton of tokens. However, a lot of the buildings that if you're not raiding consistently and you're not raiding other players, it's definitely difficult. You can upgrade a lot on generators, a lot of the buildings at level 29. A lot of the titanium facilities, the lithium facilities, par steel facilities, those are all small. Those are like 6 million par per building at level 29. And you can usually generate about 4.1 million, and then you're capped. But it definitely gets difficult. Like if you buy the Elite Daily package, it helps a ton with resource management because you get 1 million par per day. If you do a lot of raiding, that's going to help. There's a lot of players at level 20 and they're like, oh, I'm never going to raid. Just wait. So that is definitely a difficult question to answer. Really depends on a lot of different factors. What are you doing? But I would say around level 28, it definitely picks up. It definitely picks up at like level 24. You're going to see a noticeable difference. There is a 24 wall that you're going to have to get through, just like there's a 20 wall. And it definitely will go up from there. It's a really good point, Omar, is the daily events. So Omar says, for free-to-play players, let me make sure I don't get shot up. I advise that you save up experience and try to time your research and buildings with the daily events. Lots of patience, lots of saving, you can go somewhat smoothly. And he's got a really good point, because if you do your upgrades based on the little events that are running, you can easily earn a lot more resources by doing it that way, so that you won't be held back by not having a certain amount of resources. For instance, I was running low on par steel and dilithium and titanium, and so what I did is I just did a station upgrade and a research upgrade, sped through it and got some resources, and I was good to go. So Justin says, where my station is at, there are a couple of inactive bases. I love inactive bases. Couple of good things about them. No! Oh my god, I'm gonna get shot. Oh god, that sucked. Inactive bases are really good for just pounding into if you need to get experience on a ship. They are also really good because the generators, you can skim off the generators every day and get a little bit of resource that way. Oh, definitely, Omar. It was fun. JB says, in simple terms, with a yes or no, or do steps 1, 2, and 3. But if the details are too difficult, then I won't waste the space here. Can you flip-flop and play on PC and iOS? As far as I know, you cannot. Omar, I have no idea who you are. Right, JB, I don't think you can. Well, there you go. Hugo says, yes, I do it. I don't understand why anyone would have an iOS device, but hey, no one's perfect. Hugo, you gonna provide a way you do that? I kind of thought it was you, Xandis. And by the way, you're lucky that's all I took. Oh wait, no, and Rocket too. So Hugo, check out this battle log. The damage is pretty low, considering Uhura and Sulu are at the same level. But Sulu needs morale. Uhura's is always active. She's not hitting anywhere near he is. She's hitting 10k below what he does. Yeah, so far, Sulu is the winner. He is definitely doing. That one went for 4 rounds. Probably because Uhura is not doing enough damage. Oh no, that's a level 33, that's why. Yeah. Yeah, and I highly recommend if your computer can run BlueStacks, definitely download it and run Star Trek Fleet Command. It is great. I love it. I definitely use it for streaming, but if you want something on your computer, it's great to run any game on the Google Play Store directly on your computer. Although I don't see how I could play Marvel Contest of Champions on it. Yeah, Hugo, I'm reading it, but I'm not seeing it in battle reports. She should be causing more damage, right? Because you said, let me go back. Oh, that's what you're talking about. So she's mitigating the damage, and her mitigation actually works. So let's take another look at her. Yeah, Sulu is definitely much better. I was looking for the mitigation, and between her and Sulu, it was the shield damage per hit was the same. The hull damage was very similar. Mitigation was similar, but Sulu's attacks were doing 10k over her when Kirk procs morale. Make sure to tell Reb Dusak because he swears by Uhura. Alright, so let's see. Assign officers. Yeah, and the rest of the Federation crew. Let's just take a look at Scotty. So his Scotty's officer ability is he increases the total hull health of the ship by 14% of its original hull health. So If I put him, let's just take a look. Let's back out of here and take a look at the hull stats. Hull health is 113k. All right, let's assign Scotty in here and confirm that. Take a look at the hull. 116k. It's so negligible. Definitely not a fan of that. So I will put Sulu back in there and Uhura to replace Scotty. So I didn't really test Arcady. I'm not a fan of Arcady. His captain ability does nothing. And I mean, it might work with Sulu because he'll increase phaser damage, but Arcady increases the shield health of the ship by 14%. So, all in all, I think the best crew setup for Federation or Explorers is Kirk, Spock, and Sulu. And if you don't have that setup, which would be odd, because if you have Kirk, I'm pretty sure you're going to have all of them. But if you don't have that setup or like something else, Uhura does a very decent job. McCoy, I'm not seeing any kind of effect for his officer ability as of yet. If you need a little bit of hull health, definitely Scotty will help out a little bit. And Arcady will definitely help out with some shields. But other than that, it's a really fun crew to kind of play with. I will definitely be working on the cadets. I have to get really familiar with the cadets. It has been such a long time since I've used them, and I know a lot of my subscribers use them a lot. So I definitely want to do a walkthrough with them, and we'll definitely be working on the Klingons. We talked a lot about Chen Gonzalez, Chev, Gala, Vel, and Talan. Of course, my con crew setup, I love it. It makes station ratings so amazing. Other than that, let's see if there's anyone else. Already did the Romulans. Well, that's pretty much it. Hopefully in the next event there'll be a new crew member in the event that I can win over. I still have yet to play with Mara. I think she'll be fun. Other than that, is there any last minute questions before I end tonight's stream? Alright guys, well thank you so much for chiming in here tonight. I do appreciate you checking out the stream. It'll definitely be posted here in a little bit. Definitely post any questions that you have about the content that we talked about today. Other than that, you guys have a great rest of your weekend. Take care, be kind to one another, and I will talk to you later. Thanks, fandom. I appreciate that. Xandus, let's talk about that one later. You guys, everyone have a good night. And my stream won't end. Okay, that's weird. Well.